Hey, what is going on, everybody? Back with another walk and talk, and I'm gonna look even more pale than usual. um, as you noticed, I haven't been doing as many walk and talks lately, and that's because of this. You see this boot? Try to get the boot in there. I'm on 1 month now of wearing this boot, and about another month to go before I fully heal. I broke my foot in 2 spots. So I'm going to be the slowest one out here today, walking around here the lake. This is Lake Murray, by the way. Lake Murray in La Mesa, California. Not too far from my house. I used to walk here, of course, now with the boot on. Not going to be walking down here. And I'm not going to be walking too far today. But yeah, I haven't been getting as much sun lately. And some people ask me, why am I so pale? It's funny, the questions that people ask you online that they'll never ask you in real life, right? All right, but we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things happening with the economy, with the financial situation. Debt continues to pound most American people, and therefore we have to have debt forgiveness. And what do we see here recently? We see student loan debt is going to be massively discharged. Now, I feel happy for the people that are getting their debt discharged. It's a good thing. Getting rid of debt, it's a good thing, right? So let's celebrate, for the people that are getting their debt discharged. When it gets finalized, that'll be a great thing for them. Hooray. And for those that are against debt being discharged, we're talking about the student loan debt. There's going to be tens of millions of dollars worth of student loans discharged for certain people under certain income limits, right? So not everybody, but we're going to talk about that in a minute here. Is it fair? Well, let's talk about that here in a minute. But first, if you're against student loan debt forgiveness or discharging the debt, then you're also against bankruptcy, because bankruptcy is the same thing. It's the discharging of debt. The thing about student loan debt is typically you can't discharge that in bankruptcy, right? Some people say that's good, some people say that's bad. Can't be against getting rid of debt here, but not getting rid of debt over there, you know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. So I'm happy for these people that got their student loans discharged. Getting rid of debt's always good. But what about the people that worked hard to pay back their loans? And let me try to show you the lake back here, by the way. Lake Murray. This is a beautiful place to come and walk and ride your bike. And hopefully I don't get run over because I'm very slow today on this boot. Beautiful place to come and fish. And it's a pretty big lake. All right, but back to the topic here. What about the people that worked hard? They worked maybe 2 jobs to pay off their loans. Now they are going to be kicking themselves, saying, why did I work so hard and pay off this debt? And now all these other people got their debt discharged, right? So you worked hard to pay off your loans, and now you see all these other people getting their loans discharged. Is it fair? What about the people that put their health and their family to the side because they wanted to work more? Right? Have you ever seen someone or known someone, or maybe even you, work so much that their family no longer liked them or no longer felt like they were close to that person because they worked so much? I have, and there's been points where I've worked so much where I felt disconnected from my family, from my loved ones, even disconnected from the things I like to do, just hobbies, fitness, right? Getting out of shape because instead of looking out for myself and putting health first, you're putting work first. Imagine putting work first for years, maybe decades, to pay off debt, and it's all for nothing because now you look back and you see that you could have got the debt discharged. Maybe you worked for 10, 20 years. Maybe you got hurt at work. Maybe you stood on your feet for 8 hours a day at a job, and now you have bad knees and a bad back. All for nothing. You could have got the debt discharged, but you worked instead of waiting for a rescue. You worked instead of waiting for that forgiveness, right? Pretty interesting, right? Whether you agree or disagree, I think it's a pretty interesting topic, pretty interesting thing to discuss. But debt is hurting a lot of people. I still think we're going to see a massive bankruptcy storm. The debt is accumulating and increasing at levels we've never seen before. And we're going to see more homelessness, more tent cities popping up. In fact, Chula Vista, California, not too far from here, maybe a 15-minute drive south of where I'm at on the freeway. They are talking about closing down a park because of all the homelessness. And you look at it and you say, okay, homeless people need a place to put their tents, absolutely. But it's not just tents, it's everything that comes along with the homeless people, not just in that area, just wherever you see homeless people, you're usually going to see addiction, you're usually going to see some not so mentally well people, for lack of a better term. And that brings with it a lot of problems, a lot of crime. People that live around there are seeing upticks in their cars getting broken into. So poverty, homelessness, it's increasing. I'm going to try to walk up a hill here. Probably not the smartest idea with this boot on. It's pretty rocky terrain. The lake is back that way. I'm going to be walking up here towards some ball fields. All right, but back to the park that they're talking about closing down in Chula Vista. This is a park where kids have to walk by on their way to school. Not popular with the parents that they have to walk by there. So we could do a couple things. We can close the park down completely and the kids no longer have access to this park. What if you bought a home because of the vicinity to the park? People do that. They buy homes because of vicinity to a park or recreational area or a lake. What about the people that bought homes? Is it fair now that the park's going to be closed down because of the homeless people, right? So we're going to have to find places to put these tent cities. Otherwise, people's lives are going to be affected, right? So you may say, oh, JJ, I'm not close to being homeless. I don't care what happens to those people. You know, it's not affecting me. That's the attitude, believe it or not, of probably most people. I think. Probably not on this channel, but just in general. If it doesn't affect them, they don't care. Well, when you have tents across from your house and when your kids walking to school and having to, you have to worry about what's going to happen to them because they're walking by a place full of tents and crime and, you know, people that are half insane, well, then it starts affecting you. And even if it isn't now, this continues, are you going to be still unaffected? All right, pretty interesting topic, in my opinion. Please let me know what you think. But really all the things that are causing debt, poverty, homelessness, none of those things are getting better. Debt forgiveness, that's not a solution. It may be a Band-Aid on a broken leg, but is it going to fix the problem? No. In fact, here's what's going to happen. I guarantee this is going to happen. Schools, colleges, universities, etc., they're going to raise their tuition now. I guarantee you will not see, unless they pass some law. All right, there's always that. But without them being forced to, you're not going to see colleges and universities lowering their tuition. In fact, if you were trying to make money, if you were running a business, and you saw that people now had their debt forgiven, sorry about the noise, I got to get off these rocks. I underestimated how loud this boot was on these rocks. So sorry about that. Let me walk up here a little bit and then I'll resume here. I'll resume the vocals. Okay, a little bit better. Thank you. So what are you going to do as a university? You're going to raise your rates because now you're saying, okay, I might as well double the rates. We might as well double tuition because these students aren't going to have to pay for it anyway. So why not just double it? Why not triple it? Why not make it 10 times higher? If they're just going to get the debt forgiven, what difference does it make? See what I'm saying? So there's no incentive for them to lower prices because now more people can afford it. And you say, no, they can't afford it, it's too expensive. Yes, they can afford it. All they do is take out a loan and get the loan forgiven. Not everybody, but certain people. And that's going to incentivize them to pay whatever the cost, right? Who cares what the cost is if you're going to get it forgiven? It's kind of like people that know they're going to file bankruptcy. What do? Do they stop spending? No, they max out those credit cards. And you have to be careful. There's certain laws, as far as doing that type of thing right before bankruptcy. There's look back periods, stuff like that. Not my area of expertise, but look into that if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy. But people are going to spend more usually if they know the debt's going to be discharged. And that's just the way it is. Finally, let's talk about home prices. Home prices nationally fell for the first time in over 3 years from month to month. And it was less than a 1% drop. But this is nationally now. There are some cities that fell even bigger. But nationally, this is the first home price drop in about 3 years, month over month. But the amount of this drop was the biggest since 2011. So we're talking back to housing recovery time periods over 10 years ago. So it's going to get even more interesting. Will they let the market continue to drop before they drop interest rates again, and before they do QE to infinity, and before they put mortgage rates back lower? How long will they let this go? Please let me know what you think down in the comments, people, about this. So we're going to end up here and wrap this up with a little lake view behind me. It's through the trees there. You might not be able to see it, but it's a beautiful area, beautiful day to be out walking, getting some sun. And hopefully I'll do more of these as I continue to heal. But again, one more month on this boot. And I would just say, for anyone that's discouraged right now, I hope you're doing well. But if you're discouraged, if you're in debt, just know that you're not alone. And any one of us could go from being successful to being poor and in debt very quickly. It only takes one accident. It only takes one disaster. Imagine having your home insurance run out and you didn't know it. Then something happens, right? You're talking about, depending on where you live, you could be talking about $1 million evaporated, right? Very quickly. Medical bills, a few days in the hospital, you're running up $10,000, $20,000 worth of medical debt. So pretty interesting. It's going to get even more interesting as we go into the later part of the year, as car repossessions are continued to tick up. People took out these 6-7 year loans in many cases, paying for a vehicle that doubled in value over just a few years. Did it double in value, or was it just shortages and easy money that caused the price run up? I think you know the answer to that. It's going to get interesting. Repossessions increasing, foreclosures increasing, homelessness increasing, debt increasing, and not many really long-term solutions out there being discussed. So, all right, everybody, stay well. That's what I mean, stay well. It's not easy, but keep stacking also. Keep preparing however you can. And we'll talk to everybody very soon. Please let me know what you think about this report today. And thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Peace. Bye.